There's been a bit of an interesting change happening in the Metro Vancouver real estate market, a noticeable shift, you would say. And to help us get a better understanding of what is just going down around here, I've got with me a guy that's been tracking all of this for years. This is Josh Gordon. He is a senior analyst with Statistics Canada. I last talked to him about 2.5 years ago. At that time, I dragged you out from behind the desk. This time, he was very willing to chat with us. It's very good. So Josh, tell us, you've been watching the numbers around here, and today you guys dropped a bunch of data specifically around renters. What's happening there?
So what the data that we released today is showing is that over the last 2 years or so, in real terms, in inflation-adjusted terms, asking rents have fallen about 10 to 15% for 1 and 2 bedroom units.
So what are we still talking about now for a 2-bedroom? What are the prices still hitting around?
I think for a 2-bedroom, it's around $3,200.
Right, and there's also a drop right across the board. 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, a single room, all of those seeing drops across the board.
Yeah, there's been notable drops in each of those categories.
What do you say is happening in the market that is prompted this?
So we haven't done a careful causal analysis, so I wouldn't kind of say definitively one thing or another, but this is in the context of slowing population growth. So there has been substantial amounts of new supply in recent years. The rate of completions from the CMHC data is quite strong. And the unemployment rate has increased modestly, which means that fewer people have jobs and incomes, and so they're potentially more likely to move back in with their parents or move in with roommates or something like that, which means that there's a bit less demand for rental space.
Because when we last chatted, we were in the middle of the peak of all of this, hey? Yeah. That was March of 2023.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rents peaked in Vancouver right around then, second or third quarter of 2023. And have declined since.
And so if you moved in 2023 into a new place, maybe this could be a time that you couldn't renegotiate your rent, possibly. Okay, all right, thank you so much, Josh Gordon. Yes. Always great to talk to you. So Josh gave us a sense of what this data means, but I want to go a bit deeper. I'm about to go and meet up with Sandy James. She's a former Vancouver city planner, still an insider of the city. She really understands real estate around here, and she's actually one of 24 experts who signed a letter urging all 3 levels of government to focus on affordability. Let's go talk to her. So Sandy, do you think this is the market correction that so many people have been waiting for, calling for, hoping for?
Do you really think rents are dropping?
Well, I mean, the data seems to suggest that.
There's a bit of a reduction in Toronto and a bit of a reduction in Vancouver, but that median price that they are now saying is coming in still would require you to have a $100,000 salary if you were paying a third of your income to rent in Toronto. And in Vancouver, you would have to have $115,000 to $120,000 coming in salary if you're going to get an average apartment in Vancouver.
When you see this drop, your take on it is that we're not even close to where we need to be.
No, I don't think it's dramatic enough yet. Historically, when I was renting downtown, the rents were high, but everybody had the idea that salaries were still going to increase. And we're in an economy that's not doing that.
What about those factors like the speculation and vacancy tax, the ban on foreign investment? What about those?
I think it looks really nice, and I'm sure the politicians are going to tell you that the empty homes tax and also banning short-term rentals, I think that may have brought up a lot of housing to come. But, it's really nice to have that kind of legal policy. But the real important thing is for federal, municipal, and provincial governments to start thinking about affordable housing. And that means supporting nonprofit, to take a look at the cooperative housing model, which sounds scary, but it's really where everybody buys a share, moves into a building, they manage the building, and your rent is always part of your income, so that you are able to have discretionary income to do other things with your family or your kids or yourself. Some bureaucratic decisions were made by different governments to try to keep the development fulcrum going. I think specifically in Vancouver, development and tourism are 2 of the things that has really driven our market. But we don't have the foreign buyers now, and we don't have the foreign investors as much. And we need to kind of look back at the local market and again, talk about affordable housing. for someone that's not making $75,000, to make sure we have a city that includes people that are working, that are assistants, and also are just form part of the vibrant fabric of the city. They should be allowed to live here.